Monkey boy. Oh, okay, we're live. Sorry about that. I'm still getting set up on this end. Just bear with me. Yeah, my this episode is not getting a high score. This episode is not getting a high score. Man, where do I even begin? Oh, sorry about that. I'm trying to pin my message to it. Okay, there we go. Episodes. Oh, hey everybody, we got over 100 people. My bad. I just finished setting up. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. Should be going good. I got the jacket on. It is 34 degrees right now. Goodness gracious. But folks, simply put, I did not like this episode. It was not good. My question is this. Oh, the oval was far better. The oval was far better this week. Sisters cannot compete. The oval, I gave it a 9 out of 10. Sisters, I'm giving a dang 2. It should be lower than that, to be honest. But I ain't gonna lie. When what's his name? What was his name? Patrick. When Patrick asked Maurice to go for a walk in the park, and Maurice says, "I don't go through the park anymore. I used to. They used to call me. They used to call me swing set. I ain't gonna lie, that had me rolling. I liked the Zatima scene, and that was it. The rest of the episode, Danny is just. There are some choice words I'd like to use, but I'm not going to say them just yet because the video is still early into it, and they'll demonetize this video. If you open the dictionary or Urban Dictionary and looked up doing too much, you'll see a picture of Daniela right there. You want to know my biggest gripe about the episode? You want to know my biggest gripe about the episode? We start off the episode and the women are exposing Gary. But for some reason, instead of mentioning his marriage to Jasmine and their son they had, for some reason, they just focused on the fact that Andi and Gary were seeing each other during the time of y'all's relationship, and he asked her to marry him too. And the same ring that he gave him, she gave you. I cannot begin to fathom how messed up the timeline is. Okay. If I remember correctly, please bear with me, okay? I'm actually really frustrated, but I'm not trying to get super worked up, okay? Season 1, Gary proposed to Andi, okay? She turned him down and then gave that ring to Jasmine. At the end of season 2, when Gary claims he got his divorce finalized with Jasmine, which he did have the paperwork for. I do remember that. He's like, here's the paperwork for the divorce. Here's the paperwork proving I'm going to counseling. Here's the paperwork for this, that, and the third, whatever. At the end of the season, he proposed and Andi and him got engaged. Then towards the beginning of season 3, that's when he had that pop-up wedding and she turned him down. And then she eventually gave the ring back. So I'm assuming that particular ring is the same one he gave Penelope. Last week, Penelope said, "Oh, we got engaged right before I found out I was pregnant." She's 7 months pregnant. So we can assume, I'll just say maybe around 6 to 7 months ago, because maybe she didn't know for like a couple of weeks into the pregnancy. So you're telling me that 6+ months have passed since season 3. Make it make sense. Another thing, and I mentioned this before, Jasmine was not mentioned at all. Apparently, there was just way too much focus on, oh, Andi and him were, you know, together when y'all were together. Bought her a penthouse in the car. I'm like, that has nothing on the fact that Gary was married. Nobody talked about that at all. But for some reason, when the girls went over to Karen's, all of a sudden, I was messing around with him while he was married and this, that. So y'all mentioned Jasmine when it wasn't even relevant. And then, oh gosh, man. Y'all can literally see my brain is like trying to put this crap together. Then the girls, for whatever reason, well, maybe not Danny per se, but for whatever reason, try to coddle Andi. Because first of all, I'm not marriage material. No, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think any of these women are marriage material at all. At all. Danny sure as heck ain't marriage material. Well, to be fair to Danny, she turned down Preston's proposal and has admitted to being to the streets. This is like the one time I'm going to defend Andi in this video. This is the one time I'm going to defend Danny in this video. Karen is so hung up on Zach, she's never going to allow herself to love anyone and be married. Sabrina's just too airheaded and a user. And Andi sure as heck ain't no dang marriage material. So for the fact that these women, and look, let's be honest here, women in real life do this too, where they gas up their girl and it's like, y'all don't tell the truth. So Sabrina is trying to make it sound like Andi didn't do anything wrong. This isn't karma. Gary lied. Didn't he say he was getting a divorce? And I'm like, that's the thing though. Andi knew he was married when they started the affair. Gary said he was getting a divorce. 6 months into the affair, he never left his wife. So Andi is not an innocent in this. Oh, sorry. Feel a sneeze coming on. I think I'm good for now. Okay. So another thing, I ain't gonna hold you though. When Gary was looking right at Penelope and saying, she means nothing to me, she won't nothing but a side chick, I ain't gonna lie, even I kind of felt a little bad for Andi. I'm like, ooh, damn, ooh. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of felt bad. Almost. But the thing was, Gary was using some of the same lines that he used to Andi about Jasmine. Some of the same lines. Remember when Leslie, Jasmine, and Gary were all in Andi's apartment? And that's when Leslie pulled up the photos and Gary's like, this is Jasmine's sister. What are you trying to do? Expose me doing nothing wrong? And then it's like, I want her. You know what? My marriage, I don't care about that. You know what, Jasmine, you can take the money and everything. I want her. And I'm like, oh, wow, we're really pulling back. So it's kind of weird because last week I felt like I was praising I was praising the show. This week I'm right back to like, what is this bull crap? And I feel bad because, well, I mean, I'm consistent. I was honest because I was really hoping for the remainder of the season to be straight bangers. This was a straight dud. And I was sitting here the whole episode ready to give this episode like a -5 because I'm like, y'all gonna erase my baby Jasmine out of continuity. I don't know what's worse, the fact that they didn't bring up Jasmine at all during the first part of the episode at Jordan's house, or the fact that they brought her up at the end of the episode at Karen's when it made no sense. So I already talked about the Maurice joke about being called swing set that made me laugh. But But that Patrick guy is kind of weird. Do you got a pencil and paper? I don't know. Also, is this the first time the gay bar or whatever was outside? Usually it's in that one room. So I guess the change of scenery was good, but I'm going to be honest here. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it felt like I was rooting for the characters I usually despise. Hayden was calm, he was chill, and he was giving solid advice to Gary. Maurice was, I don't want to give him too much praise because I feel like next week I'll be annoyed with him again. But Maurice is trying to learn. You know what? I wanted to run off with him, but I'm like, I don't want to make the same mistake twice. I feel like a big red flag was that Patrick recognized him from his job at the bank. I can understand Maurice being a bit, curious about like, whoa, what are your intentions? So honestly, I needed the Maurice scene. I can't believe I'm saying this. I needed that Maurice scene to take a break from the frustration I felt over at Jordan's place. Karen was a sweetheart for one. Again, I feel like I'm praising her now, but then next week I could be mad. Karen was a sweetheart. This woman's minding her own business, trying to get her salon, back up and running. And then the fact that she was begging the girls to stay for pizza, and then she said, "I love you." That was like a sharp contrast to the last time they were there when she cussed him out and told him to leave. And I'm like, wow, who would have thought? But Danny just got on my last nerve. The Zatima scene, it was good, but it really isn't much to talk about. The fact that Zach doesn't really remember the 5 minutes in a VIP for $20, and the Cheryl call. See, I was disappointed. I thought Miss Cheryl would have called earlier in the episode, and then the end of the episode would be Zach and Fatima arriving at the apartment, but that didn't happen. Oh, also, if you got the trailer, please send it to me. And look. Can we talk about Tony's sketchy self? Can we talk about Tony's sketchy self? It's like, yo, Gary, you need to get up out of here. I ought to take this belt off and whoop you myself, because when we let you into this group, we're men of value. We're men of value. And you're going to do some crap like this? Negro, you're trying to steal a woman from another man. This woman has a boyfriend, and you're trying to steal. Sit your behind down. I got a gun in my van. Yeah, I bet you got a gun in that sketchy van. And then he's going to try to come at me on Twitter. I saw him. I saw him. Oh, Terry, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. I went up to my land. It's cool to say my land. I went up to my land up the road earlier today to check it out. Some progress is really being made. So trust and believe, I really can't wait to move. It's still a few months from now, but I can't wait. Yeah, Danny's whack. I ain't gonna lie. You know me, I try not to jab at somebody for their acting, but the way Jordan screamed when he was about to charge at Gary, that made me just go, oh gosh. I don't know what was more cringe. Jordan's like, ah! Or Tony trying to speak up. And I'm like, if you don't sit down somewhere. Danny is just full of it. And like I said, I don't want this video to get demonetized, but there are a lot of choice words I'd use. I felt like somebody needed to just pop her in the mouth. One of the girls, not one of the men, but I just feel like somebody needed to pop her in the mouth. She was just doing way too much. Don't get me wrong. Danny can be hilarious. But in this scene, look, because the moment they got over to Karen's and Danny's like, you know what? I'm not saying that. I'm like, now you know how to shut the F up. Any other time you want to run your dang mouth. And remember when Sabrina was like, hey, Danny, you want me to drop you off at home? Oh, no. I don't want to go home. Nuh-uh. I wonder why. So you can't deal with Andi beating around the bush about the Gary stuff, but you'll beat around every tree in the forest if it means avoiding a conversation with Preston. We got 280 people. Could you please hit the thumbs up button? Please. I'd appreciate that. I don't know. Oh, man. I'm checking my notes. To be honest, I think we covered everything. I know in the promo for next week, it looks like Gary has a folder with information on Tamara that he's handing over. I'm glad that next week we move on to the next day. We really do need to move to the next day. So she was just running her dang mouth way too much. This was not her place. This was not her place. I ain't gonna lie, Karen was sweet. I like it when she's like that. I know Trinity was liking a lot of my tweets tonight because it's like, man, Rodeo, he deserves better. Man. Oh yeah, next week is the Oval 100. Yeah. Sabrina's trying to hold Danny. Sabrina can sit her fine self down the way she used bio. I don't want to hear a thing from her. I don't want to hear a thing from her. It's like, how is Sabrina going to hold Danny accountable for the Preston stuff? Yet she's going to try to tell Andi, you didn't do anything wrong, even though you had an affair. I'm sorry. These characters are getting me worked up. So I will say this. Whether or not you like the acting, I will admit the actors are doing one heck of a job with their performances because they're really pissing me off. I know that in the promo, Brian says something about the price. Price went up. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Gary made up a file for Tamara to hurt Hayden. I don't think that's the case. Hey, Carolyn, glad to see notifications are on. Also, I say this a lot. If you are watching this and you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. And for those who have subscribed, once you hit subscribe, you'll see that bell. Click the bell and then select all, because only about 18% of my subscribers actually know when I post content. And if everybody knew when I posted content and watched, I feel like all my videos could easily get 20, 30,000 views each. So please hit that notification bell. All right. Andi's going through karma and was never number one. That sucks. I'm just wondering what the heck she's crying about. I mean, I'm sorry, not sorry, which was the title of the Oval. You have a $3.5 million penthouse. You have a Rolls Royce. Go cry in that. I'm not crying over that bull crap. It's like, look, oh wow, all right. Because let me get this straight. How in the world can Gary convince Penelope that Andi was no more than a side chick when he spent well over $5 million on this woman? From the car to the penthouse, the clothes, the jewelry, and the list goes on. Ladies, I'm talking to the ladies here. If your man, if you found out they had another woman on the side and they spent like 50 times more money on this other woman than you, would you believe him if he said that's a side chick? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Oh yeah, the actress that played Penelope, I think she gave one of my favorite performances of the episode. Yeah, I think she did a good job. Yeah, I did a video about that. The season finale, Hayden confronts Fatima about Tamara. Side chicks are even lucky to get flowers. I know you always see those memes about side chicks never getting posted on Valentine's Day or anything like that. I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah, that's a good point. Gary probably wants Penelope because she is marriage material, which again doesn't really make sense because he did want to marry Andi, but I don't know. Oh, good point. Yeah, she's an expensive side chick. Okay, Raja. I'm sorry if I mispronounce. McCary. In my opinion, I think Gary only pursues Andi when there is competition involved or when he's about to get caught doing something. Here's an interesting comparison, and stay with me on this one. The way that Gary acts when other men approach Andi, despite having Penelope, doesn't that remind you of how Zach acts around Aaron when he's being all flirty and loving with Karen, despite the fact that he's with Fatima? Think about that. Think about that. Jeremy, that's why she slapped him. She don't believe him. Oh yeah. She did slap him. My bad, I forgot. I think around like right before we got to the Zach and Fatima scene, my YouTube TV went directly to Deliver Us from Eva. It took me like 10 minutes to get everything working again, but thank gosh those commercials were long, so I was able to work it out. I didn't miss much. Yeah, he proposed to Andi because remember the divorce wasn't even finalized. Yeah. Gary is a marriage material. For somebody to be not being nothing, I agree. Why buy her $3.5 million penthouse? Andi has the look of sex appeal. Yep, I'm glad. Well, it wasn't all released though. I mean, they only talked about how you and Penelope were Gary at the same time. I'm like, well, I don't know. I ain't gonna Rich being chill about the situation. I think Rich came off as my favorite because he was so calm. Tony was doing too much. Like him and Danny go on in that dang van and just I don't know. I think what Gary gave, he first gave to Penelope. He probably gave it to Penelope first, but last week Penelope said she's not a flashy kind of girl. She just wanted like a regular car, a regular apartment. Gary's for the streets. Where's Robin? Robin, stay clear. Just stay clear. Stay clear. You can do far better than Andi. She does not deserve to be rescued. Andi does not deserve to be rescued. Andi could have gotten off this ride called Gary. I'm talking metaphorically, anytime she wanted. She chose to stay in the foolishness, just like Karen chose to stay in a toxic relationship with Zach for 3 years. I have no sympathy for Andi at all. Robin and Preston deserve better. Tony's mad weird. I think the actor who played Robin left. I don't think he's coming back. But hear me out. Remember, Paris came back in season 5. His last season was season 2. Robin could show up at some point. I don't think he's in season 7 though. Season 8 has not been filmed yet. Is Calvin marriage material? I mean, to a woman allegedly that is into his kinks. Jeremy, Andi is my girl. Leave her alone. No, I'm telling the truth. This is the channel where the truth shall be told. I will not be silenced. Dawn, that was my biggest gripe about the first scene. I'm like, you're not going to bring up the fact that Gary was married. Only the fact that Andi and Penelope's timelines with the relationship just happen to line up. The characters of the bras are hot. What? Wait, there wasn't. Look. I'm not saying there isn't a season 8. I'm just saying it hasn't been filmed yet. I wonder during the strike, I wonder how much Tyler Perry wrote. Well, then again, he did hand most of the shows over to other people, so I don't know. Calvin is marriage material, but you can only rely on him if he has a golf club. Oh yeah. The Oval review will be up probably tomorrow. I recorded all of my Oval content earlier today, but I didn't edit yet. The only gripe I had about the Oval, well, technically 2 gripes. Number 1, it was cool to see Sam take Manny down, but Manny fired a gunshot and they were close to the front gate. Why didn't those 2 Rakadushi guards rush over to, see what was going on? And number 2, Kareem is not dead. However, this is the 3rd time this season where we ended an episode with Sam shooting Bobby, Hunter shooting Alonzo, Alonzo shooting Kareem, and they're all alive. You need to stop that, Tyler. Okay, back to Sisters. Annalie finally admitted it doesn't matter that she. Okay, look. Karen, what are you doing? I'm single for a while. I'm not dating. I'm doing the same thing. Matter of fact, why don't we all stay single? Just because you want to sit on the bench doesn't mean everybody else has to. It's kind of like in Captain America Civil War when Tony Stark was like, okay, we're signing the Accords because we need to be put in check. Tony, you're the one who made Ultron and almost got the world destroyed in Age of Ultron. Just because you effed up, that doesn't mean the rest of the Avengers have to sign some paperwork. I mean, Andi, that was just, I ain't gonna lie, Andi during that last scene, misery loves company. Yep. I think the show's coming to an end. No, I don't think so. Honestly, I think it depends on season 7. I think, folks, Dawn, yeah, the timeline makes no sense. It does not. Wait a minute. Didn't Andi tell Penelope me and Gary like ended things a week ago, which makes no sense because if I remember correctly, that happened like in the first half of season 6, and it's only been like 2 days since then. But she said it's a week. Remember when the actors, and again, this is not the fault of the actors used to say each season of the show was about a week. Now you're telling me like 6 episodes is a week. The timeline makes no sense. It makes no sense. I thought this, I'm not even going to be hard on Zatima anymore. Is it in a separate universe? The timeline doesn't make sense. Now it's bled into Sisters, and it makes no sense whatsoever. It makes no sense whatsoever. I cannot make sense of this crap. Even me, and I'm not trying to sound like a know-it-all, but if you know what I'm capable of when it comes to breaking this stuff down, if I cannot make sense of this crap, who the heck can? I know I can't. I can't. Oh, man. I ain't gonna lie though. I want to be that guy. Hey Penelope, I'm sorry you're going through this, but hey Jordan, you mind if I take a couple of ribs for the road? I mean, we went through all the trouble cooking it and all this energy. I'm hungry, so let me just get a couple ribs. And matter of fact, how about it? Let me just sit in the back. Let me just eat a couple ribs and then I'll head out. I know y'all need some time, but yeah, because this was just completely out of no pun intended here. This was completely out of taste, distasteful. The way that Danny wanted to handle the situation. Yeah, thank you. Danny was like, "Well, Karen, you're pregnant, so that automatically means you're on the bench." Danny, you were the one who asked Tony if there was another guy in the group. Wouldn't it have been funny if Gary was single and then Tony recommended Gary? That would have been funny. Y'all ain't got the trailer for next week. Nobody sent it to me. Usually. Oh wait, my bad. Somebody sent it to me. Give me 1 second. Let me watch it. Next Wednesday. Sorry about that. I'm waiting for it to load up. Oh, here we go. Never mind. Okay, here we go.
You want to do this now? You're damn right I want to do it now. Next Wednesday. Leave or I'm calling the police. There's only 2 episodes left before the Sistas season finale. Take a look. Wait, what? Tyler Perry's.
So Danny goes, oh, wait, do you want to talk about this right now? No, Danny, talk about it right now. You wanted to run your mouth at at Jordan's about Andi and Gary. Danny's full of poop emoji. Yeah, the trailer does seem boring. It's TV, dude. The timeline is not real. My job is to break this stuff down. I need to make sense of it when nobody else can. But even I can't make sense of this. Also, just again, thanks for the support on the channel. Numbers are up again. Hopefully, I'll be back to 70 million views within the next month or so. Like I said, the thing about the demonetization, it sucked mainly because the deleted videos that took away the views. I was on the cusp of hitting 100 views in a few months, but not anymore. So that sucks. No, I mean, when you watch a show like Greenleaf or Stranger Things or something, the timelines for the most part make sense. Or the passage of time in general, you're made aware of it. Danny will talk about other people's business and not her. And then she's like, Preston's like, good morning. And Danny's like, I got 2 hours before I got to go to work. Like, she doesn't want to be bothered with. Just Preston, go, please. Okay. Jeremy, do you think that if Robin wouldn't have snapped on Andi, she would be with him because it seemed like she was still interested in him? I feel like Andi was going to stick with Robin for as long as she could use him for fixing her problems, whether it be for her or her friends. That's typically how Andi operates. She will get with a good guy, stay with them for however long, But once she feels that Gary itch that she needs scratch, she will go right back to Gary. So no, I do not think Robin and Andi would have stayed together. Thank you. Andi always finds an excuse to go back to Gary. I mean, how many times have we seen, I'm done with Gary? And then she's like, maybe for one episode, she's a little fidgety, but she's confident about it. But then she'll go to Karen or somebody. Well, Gary asked me out to dinner and he wants to talk. And I'm actually going to go to see if he's changed. Heifer, it's only been 12 hours. Oh, man. And not to mention, remember when she was using Robin, telling Gary, Robin's coming back in town and I'm going to let him stay with me over the weekend. And basically she would say that to Gary to test him to see if he was done being jealous or some crap. So no, honestly, any man who comes into Andi's life is nothing but a plaything until, you know, she feels like Gary is jealous enough for her to go back. I don't know. Thank you. Andi and Karen always say they're over people, then get back with them or try to get back with them. Danny and Tony got on my nerves. Danny's going to find out Tony's not who he is. I hope, and look, as sad as it's going to be to see Trinity gone, I hope Preston is long gone. So in season 7, when Danny finds out who Tony really is and what he's all about, she ain't got nobody to run to. She ain't got nobody to run to, and she did it to her dang self. Andi's too materialistic for Robin. Robin has money, though. Yo, you think this was a test to see if that was a test to see if that was her pen. Oh, yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah. But still, it was in her name. Well, I agree with Gary. Andi isn't marriage material. Agree. Andi thinks she's... Well, I will say this. Hey, Andi might not be marriage material, but you got to love black love. So I'm glad to see KJ is marriage material. So that's cool. Robin called her out at her house and she got mad. Yeah. Because she said, oh, you think I'm a hoe or a whore? I'm like, well, you kind of are. Anytime a man calls out Andi, she will automatically go to the, oh, so you think I'm a whore? And then the man has to grovel to apologize. Honestly, none of these women deserve good men. They all need help. It's like they'll hold each other accountable until they try to say, no, actually, you're good. Robin was such an elitist, though. That was a turnoff to me. Well, honestly, it sounded more like he said, he thought Andi was, you know, more of a woman of high class standards as opposed to just banging janitors. I don't know. But then again, if he knew what Andi was really about, he was right. These girls don't need to run to any man for security. Thank you. They need a real honest relationship. They need to be honest with themselves and to each other before they even try to get in a dang relationship. Yeah, hey, it's like, didn't I say that in my video on my post about Andi always having to have the last word? Yes, Robin has money, but he's not looking to supply Andi's user needs. You're right. Jordan should move on. Y'all down on my Andi. Poor Andi. Poor Andi, my ass. She in a $3.5 million penthouse. She ain't poor. They're acting like Andi wasn't with different men while she was with Gary. Oh, man. You just said a mouthful there. Danny tells everybody else's business but her own. When's Zatima coming back? Season 3 is filming right now. Season 2 will start airing January 2nd, which is a Tuesday. So I don't think the Oval and Sisters are getting any breaks. Like the last week of December, we're going to have the mid-season for the Oval, the season finale for Sisters. Then the following week, the Oval picks back up with season 5. And then at 10 o'clock, they're going to put Zatima on season 2. Then on Wednesday night, we're going to get season 7 of Sisters. I think that is a smart strategy because they're probably trying to balance out the ratings because the Oval really isn't bringing in high numbers like it used to. Sabrina slow. Robin could not have thought Andi was high quality when they first got together. They had a threesome. I mean, when that other woman looked as fine as she did, I'm just saying. How many men? Oh, wait, so if Robin with his threesomes, would you not consider him high quality? I don't know. But then again, we live in a day and age, social media, where the definition of a high value man and high value woman seem to differ. So I honestly couldn't tell you. The Oval used to be the most talked about show on. Who said that? I remember when the shows first came out, and they're talking about, oh, the Oval's number one, and people talking about, no, they don't. They talk about how slow it is. Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, just congrats to them next week for hitting number 100. That's still a milestone. They're all slow. They act like goofy, clueless teenagers. Andi is just a fun time, not a long time. I don't know. I mean, should we even? I don't know how to feel, because we do know that Gary and Penelope will get back together. But the question is, like, dang, will she even know all the truth if they do get back together, like Jasmine and whatnot? Andy's will, because for her, she loved Gary, but Gary's a cheater, won't commit. So you do you in the process of your hurt. You're still a shitty person, though. I'm sorry to say. Like, I never thought of Andi as a good. I remember saying this in season 1. She is not a good lead of a show. Nothing against KJ. I'm talking about Andi specifically. It's the fact that I can't root for her. You literally, you're introduced into the series as being a mistress. How am I supposed to feel sorry for you? I think Gary going to come at Andi again. I mean, the only way I see that happening is if Penelope doesn't take him back and then he tries to go for Andi again. Her delusional self. Maybe we should all be single. No, have a sit on this. You can't be alone. None of these women can be alone. None of them are wife material. Yep, never met the family. And if I remember correctly, she never went over to Gary and Jasmine's house. I have heard the Black Hamptons is good. I was considering reviewing it, but then apparently, since Sisters and the Oval aren't taking a break, I would have to struggle to put that into my schedule. Really keep my eyes open. Sorry about that. Dang, it's only been 37 minutes. I feel like we've been talking for an hour. Yeah, Andi is conceited. I loved how Gary told Andi exactly what she was to him. Let's be honest, though, he was probably just lying to save face in front of Penelope. Oh, KJ looks so cute on the purple carpet for the color purple. I felt sorry for Penelope. Gary was definitely saving face. You will leave Gary alone. Technically, yes, but they will find their way back to each other in season 7. Like I said, I like the Zach and Fatima stuff because I'd rather have like 4 minutes of Zach and Fatima seeing them growing as a couple compared to like 20 minutes per episode when it's just senseless drama. So I think Tyler did do a good service with those characters this season. Sorry again. I'm sorry. Just man, does Gary have all that money? I have no idea. Remember, he was a professional athlete, then became a hedge fund manager. So I don't know. Penelope's the only one I feel sorry for. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Gary was lying about how he felt about Andi. He's going to go back to her. I mean, yeah, they should definitely do another DNA test because he doesn't remember. 5 minutes, $20 VIP room. And not to mention, remember, he said he was with a group of boys. So who's to say Michael isn't one of those guys, baby? Maybe Heather was with more than one of them. Yeah. Another DNA test needs to be done again. The sisters are drama and it's getting boring. Gary going back to Andi will not be surprising at all. See, this episode has me afraid because you know how typically towards the end of the season, it starts to get a bit good, but then it's almost like we hit the reset button at the very end, and I feel like we're kind of doing that. But then again, season 7 is a fresh start, so everyone says he looks just like Zach. I mean, hopefully Penelope ain't gonna have no miscarriage. They should do another DNA test. Do another DNA. Oh no, I love this drama. Next, wonder what it is in the envelope. I'm thinking it's paperwork on Tamara. I don't know. I don't think the baby's here. I saw that, but it looked like Andi was calling Jordan. Jordan actually calls Andi based off my perspective. Even if Michael isn't Zach's, I kind of want him and Fatima to adopt him. That's actually kind of sweet. It's kind of like Madea goes to jail to play when Sonny he finds out the boy isn't his son, but he still wants to adopt him anyway. Danny needs to tell Preston to move on and let this man find happiness for himself. All she has to do is admit, I'm sorry, I'm not ready for a relationship. That's it. How hard is that? I mean, to just tell this man we're in a relationship, yet you constantly go out for another man, and when you do come home, you just get snippy with him. Just leave, Preston. Tonight's show was good with only a few commercials. Not in my opinion. Annie needs to keep her gifts and move on. Exactly. Seriously, I mean, how stupid. I get it. Because, I mean, think about how many successful people, money, fame, they take their, they self-delete, I believe is the internet-friendly term. Money doesn't, cure depression. I mean, it can make you feel better for a little bit, but honestly, I don't feel bad for Andi because you got this huge penthouse you wake up in every day. Just order some DoorDash or something. Take the day off from work if you need to and go from there. I mean, come on. Robin season 5, Andi looking fun. I don't know. I was entertained. Yeah, it had some moments, but I'm still giving it a 2 out of 10. The Oval was, I think the pacing for the Oval this week was phenomenal. This was the first episode in a while where I was cheering for Priscilla. I was like, tell that bigot off. Tell that racist president off. I'm married to, my wife is black. That doesn't exempt you from being a racist. Well, my children are half black. Where are they? Nobody's seen them in a while. I like that line because it actually stung. Like Hunter couldn't say anything after that. But yeah, the Sisters this week was just foolishness. And it's sad. We are getting closer to the freaking finale. I wonder what the paperwork is about that Gary is giving Hayden. I'm thinking Tamara because Gary does see her, but I don't know. But then again, I don't think Gary knows Tamara's last name. Just knows that it's Tamara. It's going to be hard for Jordan and Andi because of his sister. I don't know. I know to get on her knees. That was just pathetic. Also, Victoria, you ain't about that life. Alonzo, you ain't about that life either. Can we talk about the karma? Antonio, Kareem's cousin, he made Dale take the fall, and now the cartel's coming after him. But unbeknownst to him, the president is going to send his full force after his ass. I love it. Now, it's funny because this episode of Sisters is called Dear Karma, but now Antonio is going to get everything that's coming to him. Because, I mean, like, poor Dale, you're just going to railroad him, and now look at what's happening to you. Because Kareem said, my cousin, hey, yeah, Victoria's a coward. It's like, you ain't about that life. If you were really about that life, you wouldn't have, like, 9 security agents right there. It's like, no. Plus, Simone was the one. Well, she said, they're here not, to protect me against you. They're here to prevent me from whooping your ass if you say something I don't like. Victoria, stop it. Just stop it. You're just like Priscilla. You ain't got hands. You ain't nothing but all talk, and you get other people to do your dirty work. I give Simone is really naive, but dang it, she will throw hands. What? The moment she thought Victoria slept with her man, she went after her. Priscilla has been talking smack for 4 seasons and hasn't done anything. Okay, that's enough about the Oval. I want to see a show about Priscilla and Victoria. Big physical. I don't even want to bother with it. Victoria got her ass beat. Gary probably found out some info on Tamara. That's why, yeah, I'm saying the same thing too. Brian hit Karen for different quote amount next week, and I hope she doesn't try to spin the block to ask that. Yeah, that is suspect though. It's like you give me an estimation, but then again, I've dealt with this with the house too. It's like not the estimation of the total cost, but it's like, hey, here's the down payment you need to do. Okay, actually, you need to pay $6 more. Minuscule amounts, but I'm like, you already told me I paid everything. What are you telling me? Yeah, I see the post about celebrity squares. I have not watched that yet. I'll put that on my to-do list. When Hayden hear about Gary, he gonna have a field day or a heyday. Heyday, I like that. Simone is my girl. Victoria got beat up by Simone. I know, it's like, stop talking smack. Stop capping. Just stop. And then Alonzo trying to act all big and bad, beating up on Kareem. Man, you've been running around like a neutered chihuahua, looking like you're about to poop yourself for the past several episodes. Now you want to act all tough. No vest, sir. Oh, man, sit your ass down. I never watched the Oval. The Oval this season has been good. It's easily one of the best seasons, probably the best. I gotta wait until the seasons. I mean, we're still early into season 5, but it's a contender for the best season. So Sabrina's done for being and his wait, what? She's making her do bad things and she's doing good things. I don't know. Sabrina and Maurice just stay away from each other, but the ratings have been dropping. Quiet as it's kept, I think House of Pain and Assisted Living are better than The Oval and Sisters, but the ratings do not reflect that. Folks, don't let the ratings deter you from watching a show. I have watched plenty of television shows that are miles and away better than Sisters and The Oval, but the ratings don't reflect that. I think Aaron is going to pay and Karen Salon fix. Sabrina's a follower. I ain't gonna lie though. She's had what 3 banging outfits in a row. This brown ensemble, the green outfit, and then like the black blazer with the orange shirt. That's like 3 fire outfits in a row. And I usually don't say much of anything. I don't know which Andi is worse. Season 2 was just awful. Ratings always make you think that a show is bad. I think Karen just needs to find a new building. Yeah, that would probably be the best thing for her to do. What shows? I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sleepy. But yeah, I've seen shows with lower ratings. Plus, nowadays, most shows are on streaming. So 2 out of 10. Yeah, catch this live stream when it's done. I go into detail. Don't worry, you know the drill. Tomorrow I'll do the trailer breakdown, the discussions. There's not much to talk about. What? Talk about the Jasmine, not talking about her. Maybe Maurice and this new guy. Wow, I don't need to do a Karen video. Well, technically I do about Brian and the new calculations. It's time for you to go to bed. It's cold too. I know. It's cold. It's one of the I don't sleep in socks though. I can never. I love crazy socks. If you know me, you know I love crazy socks, but I cannot. I've never been able to sleep in socks. I'm gonna be wrapped up comforter. I got, shirt. I don't know if I want to sleep in sweatpants though, because it's like you sleep in sweatpants and it's like it gets hot, and I'm like, nah, it's too much work. I live in VA. Wake up, you got a good hour left in you. Yeah. Sock season. I rock socks all year. I don't do sandals. I do have Crocs though. I bought a pair earlier this year, but I only wear them like if I'm outside here or something, or if I'm like going to the store up the street. Not like if I'm going into town. Brian acted like he was trying to help Karen first line. Yeah, so I am a bit suspect about the price change. They lost me when they didn't talk about Jasmine and Leslie. And yeah, there's just so much. They just so much. Moved to the tropics last year. Yeah, because it was actually snowing and sleeting this morning for about 30 minutes. It didn't stick or anything, but it got pretty cold. Oh yeah, I pretty much got all my Black Friday stuff already. The Black Friday cyber deals. I got so many DVDs and Blu-rays. It's not even funny. I even got this off Amazon for $4. It's like a Disney book thing. It's like Darkwing Duck, a Goofy movie, and a bunch of other stuff. Yo, eBay had, I love eBay because they got so many legit sellers. Like, for example, the complete Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, $25. This is brand new factory seal. I bought at least 8 different shows for like less than $30 each. Fresh Prince, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Everybody Hates Chris. Little House on the Prairie. For real, I got so much stuff. Okay. I have not watched Good Burger 2. Oh my gosh. Thriller 40 was a horrible documentary. Thriller 40 is a horrible documentary. Complete disservice to Michael Jackson. I didn't have Paramount Plus, but I did get it to watch that documentary. It was like $3.99 plus Showtime for like 3 months. Yeah, it's cold in the house because the heater's on, but it's not really, I don't know. Thriller 4, because they see on eBay, I buy complete series. Shows like My Wife and Kids, 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter, New Girl. They don't have the box sets yet. But the thing is, a lot of these shows, if they're available on streaming, you can most likely find the DVDs for cheap. But I heard Good Burger was stupid, but at the same time, I heard it's like, look, it's nostalgic. If you like the first one, even if it was bad, you'll probably like the second one. But hey, I'll watch it at some point. I said VA, Virginia, and Thriller 40. First of all, the documentary was 90 minutes, aka 84 if you subtract credits. Let me put, if you watch the Bad 25 and the Off the Wall documentaries that Spike Lee directed, this one is trash because Spike Lee wasn't involved. It didn't cover all the songs. Instead of watching Thriller 40, if you have access, whether it be a VHS, a DVD, or find it online, watch the documentary, The Making of Thriller, the short film. That is a superior Michael Jackson documentary about the Thriller era. Don't watch Thriller 40. It was trash. I ain't gonna lie, though. They released it on DVD. I'll probably buy it because I got the other 2 on DVD, but still, it was not good. There was like a smidget of like Michael Jackson unreleased content where him and Paul McCartney record The Girl Is Mine, the Victory Tour stuff, and that was about it. But anyway, Karen needs to walk away from Brian. Something isn't right with him. Yeah, I mean, if somebody gave me an estimation for something and then they changed the price, I would go to someone else to compare the price. Remember earlier this year when I was struggling to find a accountant like a CPA because the mortgage company needed me to do it? Somebody told me their services were like $4,500, and I'm like, I'm going to check elsewhere. And they're like, well, actually, most CPAs charge in the same price range. So, I mean, it could take you some time to find someone as opposed to paying me to do it right now. I said, look, I'm going to take about 2 weeks. And if I don't find anybody for a better price, I'll come back to you. 7 days later, I found somebody in town who did it for only $2,000. I know $2,000 is a lot of money, but it was more than half of what the first person told me. You need to get multiple quotes, unless it's like if it's like your car or something and you need it like fast, I get it. But in a situation like Karen, you need to look at multiple sources before you finalize a deal with anyone. Not to mention, even though people talk about Brian trying to scam Karen, Karen is technically scamming Brian. She doesn't have the money. Andi said she has the money to loan her. Aaron said he'd be more than happy to pay for it. Zach did say he would cut her a check, but she ripped it up. As far as we know, Karen does not have the money. Sabrina used bio. I am not having this argument again. You watch Candy Can Lane? What the heck is that? Is that a movie or a show? I think the new price will be cheaper because she's a single mother. I don't know. Maybe she's probably trying to give him some laughing emojis. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. Why do we never hear about Jack? I don't know. They only have the one kid. They used to have multiple kids, but then it was changed to one. Brian did tell Karen she could get another quote. Yeah, Brian did say, well, if you want to compare the quote to like other companies in the area, it might actually surprise you that the prices will be the same or mine will be better because we threw in all the discounts. All I know is this: Andi was the one who gave Karen the startup money to get the building in the first place. And that was a loan, but of course Karen was working on paying her back, but whatever. An Eddie Murphy movie. Is that on Netflix or something? Candy Cane Lane was a disappointment. Do y'all listen to the podcast Double Toasted? I usually go to them to look at movie reviews. So yeah. Eddie Murphy. Okay, Eddie Murphy. I'll look into it. I'll look at a review first if it's bad. I know Mignon has a Christmas film coming out on BET Plus. So what? Novi had a couple of Christmas ones. Mignon has one. I think Ebony and KJ are the only ones with standing right now. Karen told him that she trusts Brian. Yep. Why are you cold in your house? I always have my bedroom door closed. I got a space heater, but it's super loud, and I didn't want to cut it on doing this live stream. Plus I got like 3 sheets on my bed. I'm good once I get in bed. Did Aaron hire Brian? Technically no. I think Karen was the one that reached out. I think Aaron probably was creeping and figured out that Brian was the one that was called. For all we know, Aaron could be somewhere in that strip mall looking, saving money. My house. I cannot wait to have my house because for the first time in my life, I will be able to control the thermostat. No roommates, no family. I can set the temperature how I want. The reason why Karen is not getting another quote, women are assumed to not go into second quotes or opinions. That's a good point. Zach acts like that because Aaron pursued Karen. Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong about, Zach trying to mark his territory. Karen said 2 months to pregnant, but each season is a week. I don't know. It's just please. Earlier in the live stream, I discussed how the timeline makes no sense at all. How your nephew, he's asleep. If you seen, I only watched Bad Santa 1 and that was it. I didn't like it. Hey, Jeremy, ask Jasmine on the dates. The dates for what? The girls need to go to that jail and talk to Gary's ex-wife and bring fiance with them. That would be an interesting team up to see Andi get revenge. It's like, hey, you tried to take me out, but did you know about Penelope? Penella who? And then I posted it. I posted on my Instagram. I said the first Sistas video of mine that actually did good numbers was the video about will Andi and Jasmine team up against Gary. And remember, Leslie suggested that in season 1. So I'm not saying I want anything to happen to Penelope. I'm not saying that, but to see them team up against Gary would be awesome. Andi would not do that. At this point, I want to see some unhinged Andi. Jasmine probably no. Leslie told her. I'm just playing with you, Jeremy. Yeah. Oh, I guess you mean date because you said dates, and I'm like, wait, dates for when she's coming back to the show? I do not think she is. Jasmine might know about Penelope. I don't think so because one, why would Penelope be well? Jasmine might know about Penelope, but not the other way around. But that doesn't make any sense though. But then again, Andi was a pawn in their overall scheme, not Penelope. I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you. Like I said, I can't make sense of this. Serena did use bio. Yep. I think Penelope knows about Andi. I mean, now she does. Because she did say at one point she overheard Gary talking to Andi, but he said, oh, it's just a coworker. Okay, now if Danny did that, yeah, I'm all for like, let's go down to the jail and talk to his wife or ex-wife. Or Jasmine could be like, what do you mean ex-wife? We never got a divorce. She thought Andi was a man. Yeah, Andi with a Y. Yeah, I thought that was a coworker. Nope. Gary showed Andi the paperwork in season 2 when he showed up at her apartment. I think he even had the engagement ring. Like, here's the paperwork to show the divorce is finalized. Here's the paperwork to show that I'm seeing a counselor. Basically, he did his research, I guess. Now, you could argue those documents were fake, but I think they were legit. They all need to grow up because they take life for granted. I mean, Andi should count her blessings aside from the penthouse and all that stuff. She didn't end up with Gary's child. Unlike Penelope, Andi can walk away from this alone. Penelope, she can walk away, but she's carrying a whole nother person inside of her. So Andi, despite the affair and all the other dirty stuff she's done, she got out of this easy. I forgot what happened to her gun. Like, was it out of bullets or something? I know that Gary said they were like rubber bullets or some crap like that, but regardless, that probably would have hurt because Jasmine was going to shoot her ass in the face. We don't know if Hayden made that paperwork for the divorce. Plus, Hayden is a tax lawyer, not at a. Well, then again, the show has these, individuals being what the plot needs them to be. So I don't know. Yeah, Andi, Penelope, and Fatima confront Gary, but some people speculate Fatima's involved because it has to do with Tamara. Okay. Madam got her for Fatima. Oh, yeah, Danny's face. And it's like, I know you ain't sitting up there trying to act offended. That's a very fair question with your track record. Q, El Fuego, Jonah, the bartender at the gay bar. Hayden told Gary what he wants is not legal. I was like, yeah. Maurice hasn't added much to the show. No, I mean, his entire thing was that Q crap. I mean, you could easily cut him and Calvin and I wouldn't care. Q's in jail. I like season 1 Maurice Tony going to break Danny's heart bad. And she deserves it. I think Sabrina and Calvin they were never together. Calvin and Sabrina were never together. Danny likes randoms and strays. Yep. She sure does. Okay. Well, folks, I think we've talked enough tonight. Please check out the channel. I posted a lot of content over the past couple of days, and I recorded a lot earlier today, oval stuff. Tomorrow will be sister stuff, and I will try to get these videos out as soon as possible. I don't think I have a need to go live on Instagram. I don't know. Sorry, phone's going off. Yeah. All right. Well, have a great night, folks. Thumbs up button, please hit the thumbs up button. Keep your eyes on the new videos coming to the channel. And the episode review, man, that is going to be a doozy. That is going to be a doozy.